Here is an illustrated summary of the news.
Hello everyone, hope you're keeping well. Hope you like my vintage news graphic there. Took about an hour to make that and it's rubbish, so I'll try better next time. I'll make a better one. That was a bit of a rush job. Anyway, it's just a bit of fun. So just reflecting really on finally the coup attempt not working for Donald Trump. He probed the limits of democracy in the US and he was found wanting, and that's excellent. So he is going. They tried, these lawsuits. They were rubbish, and they were kind of laughed out of court, thrown out of court by judges. And it was never going to work, thankfully. But when you look at the statistics of how many voters now, Trump voters, who think that the election was stolen, I think the last poll, I think it was CNBC poll, 73% of Trump voters think that election was stolen. With no evidence, with all the court cases being thrown out, that amount of people think it was stolen, and that they have rigged elections now in the US. And that is a huge problem. With that amount of people in society thinking that the government is rigging elections now. I mean, when you think about it, that doesn't make sense. Like, if you were the president, usually when people rig elections in countries, it's the leader who is rigging it to stay in power. When you have these countries like, I don't know, Uzbekistan, North Korea, Eritrea, these dictatorships, presidents and people in power rig it so they stay in power. You don't get... How are you going to rig an election when you're in the opposition, when you're not the president, from his basement? I mean, Trump was always saying how Joe Biden's sitting in his basement, yet he can rig elections from his basement. I mean, you've got to say, wow, if he can do that, then maybe we should get behind him. He's that good. He can rig an election while not leaving his basement. I mean, there's so easy to poke holes in these ideas, but unfortunately, Fox News has been the main driver of this, but there's also Rush Limbaugh and other right-wing lunatics who have done this. That they've brainwashed the MAGA cult to this point that, there's other news organisations now, there's Newsmax and OANN, those are further to the right of Fox News. And recently you saw at Trump rallies people shouting Fox News sucks. And this is because Fox News had called Arizona for Biden. They'd told the truth. And they've created such an artificial reality that when that bit of truth comes into it, these people can't take it, because they've been so lied to by Fox News, who tell them all the time that, how brilliant that Trump is and his administration and everything. And so, I mean, Fox News is so far right. I mean, Charlie Brooker once famously said, Fox News leans to the right more than a man who's had his right leg blown off. And unbelievably, Newsmax and OANN are further to the right than Fox News. I mean, their idea of news, their bulletins are like, Donald Trump is the greatest leader the US has ever had. And if you don't believe that, you should be deported. And that's their idea of news, So it's like Fox News has sort of been pumping up their followers with the sort of steroids of right-wing nonsense, to the point that they've created this monster that's now starting to beat them down, that they can't control it anymore. And now they're turning on Fox News, because Fox News, during the day, it has these reporters who are telling them the truth, and then in the evening you've got white supremacists like Tucker Carlson who are giving this conspiracy theories and telling them that what went on in the day wasn't correct. And it's this kind of split personality it has now, but it's losing fans to these other crazy news organisations. So it's pretty mad, really, what's going on there. And I don't know how you're going to get these people back, really, into the kind of shared reality of what's actually going on in the US. But anyway, that's a problem for them, and something I'll have to work on. But some of these last-minute rule changes that the Trump administration wants to bring in, they're having trouble finding the chemicals to use in lethal injections. And so now they're wanting to bring back firing squads and maybe sort of... gas chambers and things like that for executions. I mean, it's kind of like something out of a dystopian science fiction novel, really. It's crazy, but yeah, firing squads in the US, that's what the Trump administration would like. I'm sure it won't get anywhere, because he's on the way out, and if they did introduce it as a rule, Biden could easily reverse it. But yeah, that's just where the US is right now, so it's pretty crazy. But yeah, I'm glad to see the back of the Trump administration. Certainly it's improved my mental health. And I mean, speaking of mental health, I think a lot of people, I imagine, I certainly have struggled with my mental health with this lockdown and the lack of social contact. And I think increasingly the shorter days and the weather are an issue for me. You know, when it's raining, it's not as bad. At least that's, you know, the earth needs rain and the plants need rain, stuff like that. It's like yesterday when it was just this greyness all day, and it felt like it was dusk for pretty much the whole day. Really, that's the weather I cannot stand. And yeah, I am finding it difficult some days just to just think, when is this going to end? When are we going to get out of this situation? But now I suppose we know what tiers we're in now and all this, although I see the website crashed because of the amount of people trying to find out what tier they're in, what Christmas present they've got in terms of restrictions. So anyway, bring on the vaccines. We need to get out of this situation. It's doing my head in. But anyway, I hope everyone's well. And yeah, I just thought I'd just do a little post just to pass the time because I've got nothing else to do. So yeah. Take care, everyone, and yeah, look after yourselves.